Rain pounded against the windows of Nathan Miller's cabin. Lightning flashed, briefly lighting up the small living room where he sat by the fireplace. The warmth from the flames was a welcome relief from the cold October night in the Oregon forest. Nathan added another log to the fire and watched the sparks dance upward. At 32 years old, he enjoyed his quiet life as a park ranger. After 8 years in the military, the peace of the forest healed him in ways city life never could. He was about to pour himself another cup of coffee when a sound louder than thunder shook the cabin. The windows rattled. His coffee spilled across the wooden table. "What the hell was that?" Nathan muttered, grabbing his flashlight and rain jacket. Common sense told him to stay inside during the storm, but years of ranger training pushed him toward the door. If a tree had fallen on a campsite, someone might need help. The rain hit him hard as he stepped outside. His boots sank into mud as he swept the flashlight beam across the trees. At first, he saw nothing unusual. Then a faint blue glow caught his eye from the clearing about 100 yards away. Nathan followed the light, pushing through wet branches and undergrowth. When he reached the clearing, he froze. His flashlight revealed a sight that made no sense. Half buried in the earth was something metal and sleek. It wasn't a plane or helicopter. The object was about 20 feet long with no wings. Its surface shimmered with a blue light that pulsed weakly. "Hello," Nathan called out, approaching slowly. "Anyone there?" A section of the craft suddenly slid open. Nathan raised his flashlight, his heart pounding in his chest. Inside lay a figure, clearly injured. But as the light fell across the being, Nathan realized he wasn't looking at a human. The creature had skin the color of a deep ocean, a shimmering blue that seemed to catch every bit of available light. Where a human would have ears, this being had what looked like delicate gills. Most striking were the eyes, large with pupils that reflected his flashlight like a cat's eyes on a dark road. The being wore what appeared to be some kind of armored suit, now damaged and torn in places. A dark liquid that wasn't quite blood seeped from a wound in its side. It looked at Nathan and spoke in harsh, clicking sounds he couldn't understand. Then it touched a small device on its wrist. The next words came out in broken, mechanical English. "Human. Help. Hunters coming." The creature tried to move but winced in pain. Its eyes, strangely beautiful despite their predatory appearance, locked onto Nathan's. "Need your warmth," it whispered before slumping back. Nathan stood frozen in the rain. His mind raced through possibilities. A movie prop. A government experiment. But the being before him was clearly alive, and clearly not from Earth. "I must be losing my mind," Nathan said to himself, but he was already moving forward. The creature wasn't very large, maybe 5.5 feet tall with a slender build. Despite its alien appearance, something in those eyes had seemed intelligent, even desperate. Making a decision he was sure he would regret, Nathan carefully lifted the alien. It was surprisingly light, and its skin was cold to the touch, much colder than any human should be in these conditions. "Hang on," he told the unconscious figure, not sure if it could even hear him. "I've got you." The rain continued to pour as Nathan carried the alien back to his cabin. Behind them, the strange craft's lights faded completely, disappearing into the darkness of the forest. Nathan didn't notice the second, larger ship that passed silently overhead, its occupants scanning the ground below with cold, methodical precision. In his arms, the alien stirred slightly. Even through his rain jacket, Nathan could feel the creature's hands seeking the warmth of his body. He had no idea that this night would change not just his life, but the future of his entire species. Nathan placed the alien on his couch and quickly built up the fire. He wasn't sure what to do next. The being remained unconscious, its blue skin now looking pale and dull. Without thinking, Nathan grabbed extra blankets and covered the strange visitor. "This is crazy," he muttered, pacing the floor. "Should I call someone? The police? The army?" But years in the military had taught Nathan about government protocols for unusual situations. He knew what would happen to this creature if officials got involved. Endless tests, probable dissection, certainly no freedom. The alien suddenly moved. Its eyes opened, those strange reflective pupils widening in the firelight. Nathan stepped back, reaching for the poker by the fireplace, just in case. The creature sat up slowly, keeping the blankets around its shoulders. It touched the device on its wrist again. "Thank you, human," it said in that mechanical voice. "Your heat saved me." "Who are you?" Nathan asked, keeping his distance. "What are you?" "I am Zora, scout from Lyra people." The alien's voice came through more clearly now. "Your language, difficult for translator." Zora tried to stand but fell back to the couch weakly. Nathan noticed her skin had taken on a grayish tone. "Fire. Closer, please," she said. Cautiously, Nathan helped Zara move to the chair directly in front of the fireplace. As soon as the heat hit her, her skin began to regain its blue color. "My people, cold world," Zara explained, holding her hands toward the flames. "Bodies cannot make enough heat. Need outside source." Nathan sat across from her, still keeping the poker nearby. "You're from another planet." Zara nodded. "Far star. Red dwarf. Little heat. Why are you here?" Nathan asked. "Looking for new home. Scouts sent to many planets." Zara's eyes darted to the window as thunder crashed outside. "Not alone in galaxy. Bad ones follow." "Krell. Krell. Are those the hunters you mentioned?" Zara's expression darkened. "Krell hunt Lyra everywhere. Kill many worlds of my people. Cold does not harm them like us." As they talked, Nathan began to see Zara differently. Despite her alien features, the gills that fluttered slightly when she spoke, the strange texture of her skin, there was intelligence and emotion in her face. She was clearly scared, but trying to hide it. "Your ship," Nathan said. "Can you contact your people?" Zara shook her head. "Ship broken. Communication dead." She looked directly at Nathan. "Krell will find crash. We'll come here." "Here?" "To my cabin." Nathan felt a chill that had nothing to do with the storm. "Krell never stop hunting. Kill anything in way." Zora's hand moved to a device on her belt that Nathan hadn't noticed before. It looked like a weapon. "I was hunter on my world. Good hunter, but Krell better." Nathan ran his hand through his hair, trying to make sense of everything. Aliens, hunters, a possible invasion. It was too much. "Why Earth?" he asked finally. "Of all the planets, why come here?" Zora's expression changed to something Nathan couldn't read. Humans special. Not just prey. Not just predator. Both. Rare in galaxy. She paused, seeming to search for words. Most species only know how to run or how to chase. Humans know both. She moved closer to the fire again, her skin absorbing the heat visibly. "And humans warm. Very warm." Before Nathan could ask what she meant by that, Zara suddenly stiffened. Her head turned toward the window. "What is it?" Nathan asked. "Listen," she whispered. At first, Nathan heard nothing beyond the storm. Then he caught it, a high-pitched hum, barely audible above the rain. It wasn't thunder. It wasn't anything from Earth. "Krell's scout ship," Zara said, her voice tight with fear. "They find crash already. Looking for me now." She turned to Nathan, her eyes reflecting the firelight. "Need more of your warmth to survive. Need your help to fight, or we both die." "We need to leave," Nathan said, grabbing his emergency backpack. "If these Krell are as dangerous as you say, my cabin isn't safe." Zara nodded, but when she tried to stand, she stumbled. The sound of the Krell ship was getting louder. "Too cold," she explained, her voice weak. "Need heat to move fast." Nathan hesitated only briefly before making a decision. He sat beside Zora and put his arm around her shoulders. Her skin was cold to the touch, but as soon as they made contact, he felt a strange tingling sensation. "Your body heat," Zora said, her blue skin brightening slightly at the contact. "Lyra can absorb directly. Fastest way." The closeness felt strange to Nathan. He was literally giving his body heat to an alien. But there was no time to think about it. The humming outside was now joined by a thumping sound, like something heavy landing nearby. "Back door," Nathan whispered. He helped Zora up, keeping his arm around her. "I have a friend who can help us." She was a doctor in the army. They slipped out through the kitchen just as bright lights swept across the front windows. Nathan led Zora into the forest behind his cabin, following a narrow path he knew well. The rain had stopped, but the ground was muddy and slippery. "Who is coming?" Zora asked as they moved deeper into the trees. "Her name is Olivia," Nathan explained. "She lives about 3 miles from here. I need to use her phone since mine won't work this far out." As they walked, Zora began to move more easily. The contact with Nathan was clearly helping her recover strength. She looked around at the forest with curious eyes. "Your world's so wet. So many plants," she said. "My world mostly rock and sand. Little water." Nathan had 1,000 questions, but safety came first. "Tell me more about the Krell. What do they look like? How do they track you?" "Krell like hard shells, green-brown color, eyes on sides of head. They see heat very well, tracked by body temperature." Zora touched her translator device. "They work together always, never alone. One mind, many bodies. Like insects, similar, but smart. Use technology better than Lyra." She looked back toward the cabin, now hidden by trees. "They will find your home. Destroy everything." The thought of losing his cabin hurt, but Nathan kept moving. "Why do they hate your people so much?" Zora was quiet for a moment. "Long ago, Lyra and Krell shared border stars. Krell need cold. We need heat, should not be problem." Her eyes narrowed. "But Krell believe galaxy only for them. See all others as threat." They came to a small stream that needed to be crossed. Nathan helped Zora through the water, noticing how she shivered at its touch. "Water very cold," she explained. "Slows our bodies." Once across, they sat on a fallen log to rest. In the moonlight that now broke through the clouds, Nathan could see Zora more clearly. Despite her alien features, there was something almost beautiful about her iridescent skin and large, expressive eyes. "Your friend," Zora said suddenly. "Will she fear me?" Nathan smiled. "Olivia has seen a lot in her life. She might be surprised, but she'll help us." Zora nodded, then suddenly tensed. "Listen." Far behind them, Nathan heard crashing sounds and a high-pitched screech that didn't come from any earth animal. The Krell had found his cabin. "We need to keep moving," he said, helping Zora up. As they continued through the dark forest, Zora stayed close to Nathan's side. Her hand occasionally brushed against his, seeking warmth. "On my world," she said quietly, "hunters form groups for survival. Share heat, share food, protect each other." She looked at Nathan. "You are now my hunting partner, Nathan. I will protect you from Krell." Nathan wasn't sure how to respond to that. But as the sounds of destruction faded behind them, and the lights of Olivia's small house appeared ahead, he realized his life had changed forever. For better or worse, he was now part of something much bigger than himself. Olivia Wright opened her door with a shotgun in hand. Her eyes widened at the sight of Nathan, but then nearly bulged out of her head when she saw Zora. "Nathan, what the hell?" "Please, Liv, we need to come inside," Nathan said quickly. "I can explain everything." Olivia stepped back, allowing them in but keeping her shotgun ready. Her small house was warm and bright compared to the dark forest. Zora's skin seemed to glow under the electric lights. "Start talking," Olivia said, staring at Zora. "Is this some kind of joke?" "No joke," Nathan said. "This is Zora. She's from another planet. There are hostile aliens called Krell following her, and they just destroyed my cabin." Olivia looked like she might laugh, but something in Nathan's face stopped her. She was a practical woman with short gray hair and sharp eyes. 8 years as an army doctor had taught her to assess situations quickly. "Sit down," she said finally. "Both of you." As Nathan explained everything, Zara moved closer to the fireplace in Olivia's living room. Her movements were more fluid now, energized by the heat. "So you need my phone to call who exactly?" Olivia asked when Nathan finished. "Alan Rogers, my old commanding officer. He works for a special government department now. If anyone will know how to handle this, it's him." Olivia handed Nathan her cell phone, then turned to examine Zara with professional curiosity. "May I?" she asked, approaching the alien slowly. Zara nodded, allowing Olivia to look more closely at her. The doctor's trained eyes noticed details Nathan had missed. The slight webbing between Zora's fingers, the way her gills pulsed with her breathing. "Fascinating," Olivia murmured. "Your species evolved for a cold, low-oxygen environment." "Yes," Zara replied. "Gills filter air differently than human lungs. More efficient." While Nathan tried to reach Alan, Olivia continued her impromptu examination. "Your skin actually absorbs heat, like photosynthesis but with thermal energy." Zara seemed pleased by Olivia's understanding. "Yes, cells store heat energy, used slowly, but need regular nuke heat or—" She made a falling motion with her hand. "You shut down," Olivia finished. "Fascinating adaptation." Their scientific discussion was interrupted when Nathan returned, looking worried. "I can't reach Alan." The call went straight to voicemail. He looked out the window nervously. "We should keep moving. The Krell might track us here." "Wait," Olivia said. "If these Krell track by heat signatures, I have an idea." She disappeared into her bedroom and returned with a strange-looking vest. "Thermal insulation gear. Military prototype for Arctic operations," she explained, handing it to Zara. "It might mask your heat signature." Zara examined the vest with interest. "Clever. May work temporarily." As Zara put on the vest, a loud crash came from outside. All three froze. "Too late," Zara whispered, reaching for the weapon on her belt. Nathan pulled Olivia toward the back of the house. "Is your car in the garage?" She nodded. "Keys are by the door." The front window shattered as something heavy crashed through it. Zara moved with startling speed, pushing Nathan and Olivia behind her as she faced the intruder. The creature that crawled through the broken window was nothing like Nathan had imagined. It stood on two legs like a human but was covered in overlapping plates that looked like armor. Its head was wide and flat with eyes on the sides, giving it a nearly 360-degree view. In one clawed hand, it held a device that glowed orange. "Krell Scout," Zara hissed, aiming her weapon. The Krell made a series of clicking sounds and raised its device. Zara fired first. A beam of blue light shot from her weapon, hitting the Krell squarely in the chest. The alien scout fell backward, its body twitching. "More will come," Zara said, turning to Nathan and Olivia. "We must leave now." They ran to the garage where Olivia's old truck waited. As they climbed in, more crashing sounds came from the front of the house. "Drive north," Zara instructed as Olivia started the engine. "Mountains. Cold will slow Krell ships." As they sped away from the house, Nathan looked back to see three more Krell emerging from the trees. One raised a weapon toward their truck. "Get down," he shouted, pulling Zara down just as the rear window exploded. Olivia floored the gas pedal, and the truck lurched forward into the night. Behind them, the Krell began their pursuit. Olivia's truck rumbled up the mountain road, headlights cutting through the darkness. Nathan looked behind them constantly, watching for signs of pursuit. "I think we lost them," he said after 20 minutes of driving. "No," Zara replied, her voice tense. "Krell never lose prey. They follow." The thermal vest Olivia had given her seemed to help, but Zara was still shivering. The higher they climbed into the mountains, the colder it became. "There's a research station about 10 miles ahead," Olivia said. "My friend Ben works there. We can use their satellite phone to reach Alan." As they rounded a sharp curve, Zara suddenly stiffened. "Stop, truck. Now." Olivia slammed on the brakes just as a blinding light appeared ahead of them. A large shape hovered over the road, a Krell ship much bigger than anything Nathan had seen before. "Back up," he urged, but Olivia was already shifting into reverse. Before they could move, a beam of energy hit the ground in front of them, sending rocks and dirt flying. The truck swerved, tires spinning on the edge of the road. "We have to run," Nathan said, grabbing Zora's arm. "Into the trees." They jumped from the truck just as another beam hit it, flipping the vehicle onto its side. The three ran into the dark forest, guided only by the faint moonlight filtering through the trees. Behind them, Krell scouts began to land. Their clicking calls echoed through the night, getting closer by the second. "This way," Olivia whispered, pointing to a narrow path between rocks. "There's an old mine entrance. We can hide there." The mine shaft was cold and damp, its entrance barely visible behind overgrown bushes. They squeezed inside and moved deep into the darkness. Nathan used his small flashlight to guide them. "Zara's getting too cold," Olivia noticed as they stopped to rest. The alien's skin had turned a dull gray color again, and she was moving slowly. Nathan sat beside Zara and put his arm around her. "How many Krell are out there?" "Small hunting group. Maybe 10 scouts, 1 commander." Zora leaned into Nathan's warmth. "Ship is scout ship, not warship. Bigger ships coming." "How much time do we have before the main fleet arrives?" Olivia asked. 3 days, maybe 4. Zora's voice was weak. "Need to warn your leaders." Nathan nodded grimly. "And we need a plan to fight back." A sound from the mine entrance made them all freeze. Flashlight beams swept across the rocky walls as Krell scouts entered the mine. "Back, deeper," Nathan whispered. They retreated further into the mine until they reached a fork in the tunnel. Olivia pointed left, and they followed the narrower passage until it opened into a larger chamber. "Old equipment," Nathan said, spotting rusted mining tools. "Maybe we can use something." Zora was examining the mine walls with interest. "Earth has many metals, useful metals." She picked up a piece of broken machinery. "Help me build something." "Build what?" Olivia asked. "Signal jammer, block Krell scanners." Zora's eyes gleamed in the darkness. "And weapon." For the next hour, they worked by flashlight as Zora directed them. She combined parts from her own damaged equipment with the mining tools, creating something that looked like a small satellite dish. "Krell getting closer," she whispered as they finished. "We'll jam their communications, make them confused." Nathan admired her work. "How do you know how to build this?" "Was top hunter before becoming scout," Zara said with pride. "Know Krell technology well." A loud clicking sound came from the tunnel. Very close now. Zora activated her device, which emitted a high-pitched hum. Almost immediately, they heard confused screeching from the Krell scouts. The flashlight beams became erratic, moving in random directions. "It's working," Olivia whispered. "They're disoriented." Zara handed Nathan her weapon. "You know how to fight. Go to tunnel entrance. Shoot any Krell that come through." "What about you?" Nathan asked. "Need to make one more thing." Zara's blue skin was brighter now, energized by purpose despite the cold. Something to call for help. As Nathan moved to the tunnel entrance, weapon ready, he realized how quickly his life had changed. 3 days ago, he'd been a lonely park ranger. Now he was humanity's first line of defense against an alien invasion. Behind him, Zara worked rapidly, her slender fingers assembling something that might save them all. Nathan crouched at the tunnel entrance, Zara's weapon feeling strange but somehow right in his hands. The confused clicks and screeches of the Krell echoed through the mine. Occasionally, a scout would stumble near their hiding place, and Nathan would hold his breath until it moved away. Behind him, Zara and Olivia worked quickly on the communication device. Olivia's medical knowledge combined with Zora's alien technology created something neither could have made alone. "Almost ready," Zara whispered. Need more power source. Olivia pulled a small battery pack from her pocket. Emergency medical equipment battery. Will this work? Zara examined it and nodded. Perfect fit. As they connected the final pieces, a different sound came from deeper in the mine, not from the entrance they were watching. It was the sound of metal against stone. There's another way in, Nathan realized with horror. Before they could react, a section of the wall slid open. It wasn't natural rock, but a hidden door. Through it stepped a figure that made Zara gasp. "Vex," she hissed. The newcomer was clearly the same species as Zara, with blue skin and gill-like structures. But where Zara was slender and graceful, this male was broader with scars marking his face. He wore armor similar to the Krell's. "Hello, little scout," Vex said, his translator making his voice sound deeper than Zara's. "Long chase, yes." Nathan aimed the weapon at Vex, but the male Lyran already had a larger gun pointed at them. "Who is this?" Nathan asked Zara, without taking his eyes off the intruder. "Vex. From Colony World, Lyra 7. Zora's voice was tight with anger. "Traitor. Works with Krell now." Vex laughed, the sound harsh through his translator. "Not traitor. Survivor." He looked around the cave. "Hiding with humans. How sad you've become, Zara. Once greatest hunter of Lyra." Olivia moved slightly, trying to shield their communication device, but Vex noticed. "Stop moving, human female. I see what you build." He stepped closer, calling for help. "No one will come in time." "Why?" Zara asked, her voice full of pain. "Why help them destroy our people?" Vex's expression hardened. "You don't know. Council never told scouts." He made a sound like bitter laughter. "Lyra leaders planned to sacrifice outer colonies, my home, millions of our people, to save Central Worlds." Nathan saw shock register on Zara's face. "No, not possible." "Truth," Vex insisted. "Found plans when working in Council archives. Krell offered deal. Help find main Lyra fleet, spare colonies like mine." Zara seemed stunned by this revelation. Nathan kept the weapon steady, looking for any chance to fire. "And humans?" Olivia asked. "What do the Krell want with Earth?" Vex turned to her, his eyes cold. "Nothing. Earth just in way." But Lyra wanted Earth very much. He looked back at Zara. "Tell them. Scout. Tell them why Council sent you here." Zora was silent, her skin pale with what Nathan now recognized as the Lyran equivalent of shame. "Lyra need heat sources," Vex continued when Zora didn't speak. "Humans perfect. Warm bodies. Primitive weapons. Plan was to use humans as living batteries for Lyran settlements." "Is this true?" Nathan asked Zora, his voice barely above a whisper. Zora looked at him, her large eyes filled with something like regret. "I not know full plan. Told to find compatible planet. Not told about using humans." "But you suspected," Vex pressed. "All scouts suspected. Chose to ignore." The tension in the cave was broken by a sudden explosion from the tunnel. The signal jammer sputtered and died. "Time's up," Vex said, raising his weapon higher. "Krell Commander comes now. He wants to meet famous Earth humans who hide Lyran Scout." As if on cue, heavy footsteps approached from the tunnel. But instead of firing, Vex suddenly spun around, aiming at the tunnel entrance. "Nathan," he said urgently, "take Zara and female doctor. Use hidden door. Go now." "What?" Nathan was confused by the sudden change. "Revenge on Council, yes, but not by killing innocent species." Vex's expression was grim. "Go, I hold them off." Nathan hesitated only a moment before grabbing the communication device and pulling Zara toward the hidden door. As they slipped through, the last thing he saw was Vex firing at the first Krell to enter the chamber. The hidden passage led them down into darkness. Nathan's flashlight provided the only light as they moved quickly through the narrow tunnel. "Did you know?" Nathan asked Zora, his voice tight. About using humans as heat sources. Zora's eyes were downcast. Not full plan, but suspected something not right. Many scouts did. She looked up at him, chose to believe we would find peaceful way. Not harvesting. Behind them, they heard the echoes of energy weapons and screams. Vex was buying them time with his life. We can discuss this later, Olivia said firmly. Right now, we need to contact Alan and warn Earth about the Krell fleet. The tunnel eventually opened into a larger cave with an exit that led out to the mountainside. They were on the opposite side of the mountain now, away from the Krell ship. Signal stronger outside, Zara said, adjusting the communication device. In the early morning light, they could see the valley below. Small towns dotted the landscape, people going about their normal lives, unaware of the danger coming from the stars. Zara activated the device, and it hummed to life, sending message on all frequencies. Military, civilian, all systems. What exactly are you sending? Olivia asked. Warning about Krell, location of their scout ship, and Zara hesitated. Message to my people. What message? Nathan asked, still unsure if he could trust her. Truth. Telling all Lyra what Council planned, how they would use humans. Zara's expression was determined. Many Lyra would never agree to harm humans. Most want peaceful home, not slaves. As the device transmitted, they heard the sound of helicopters in the distance. Someone received our message, Olivia said with relief. 3 military helicopters appeared, circling their position. One landed nearby, and soldiers poured out, weapons raised. Behind them stepped a tall man with gray hair. Alan Rogers. Nathan, he called. We picked up your signal. And apparently, so did others. He pointed to the sky where a bright light was growing larger. It wasn't the sun, and it wasn't a Krell ship. This light was blue, like Zara's skin. Lyran ship, Zara whispered in awe. Fast response vessel. Within minutes, the Lyran ship hovered above them. It was sleek and beautiful compared to the angular Krell vessels. A beam of light shot down, and within it appeared a tall, regal Lyran female. I am Commander Naira, she announced, her translator working perfectly. We received Scout Zara's message. The Council has been dissolved. Those responsible for the human plan will face justice. Alan stepped forward cautiously. How do we know we can trust you? You don't, Naira said simply. But the Krell fleet approaches. Without alliance, both our species face extinction. Nathan looked at Zara, who nodded slightly. I believe her, he said to Alan. And we need their technology to fight the Krell. Over the next 3 days, an unlikely alliance formed. Lyran ships arrived, bringing weapons and shields for Earth's military. The Krell fleet appeared on schedule, but instead of finding an easy target, they faced the combined forces of humans and Lyrans. The battle was fierce but brief. Krell ships fell from the sky, defeated by human determination and Lyran technology. In the aftermath, Nathan found Zora standing alone, watching the sunrise. What happens now? He asked. Treaty being made, she said. Lyrans will share technology. Humans share warmth and resources. She turned to him, her eyes reflecting the morning light. Peaceful coexistence possible. And you? Will you stay on Earth? Zara's skin brightened slightly. If welcome, yes. Still need warmth. She reached out, her hand almost touching his. Still need partner. Nathan smiled and took her hand. The tingling sensation of her absorbing his heat no longer felt strange. It felt right. When I first heard you whisper, I need your warmth, human, I thought you were just cold, Nathan said. Now I understand it meant much more. Zara nodded, moving closer to him as the sun rose higher. On my world, sharing heat is special. Means trust. Means bond. As they looked out over the valley together, human and alien side by side, Nathan realized that sometimes the greatest connections come from the simplest needs. The need for warmth. The need for understanding. the need for each other. "You'll always have my warmth," he promised. And in that moment, a new chapter began, not just for them, but for both their species.